The purpose of this lab is to go ahead and configure a VRF, which is called Virtual Routing and Forwarding. I'm using the OS 10.5.3 Dell user guide as a reference, and in that user guide there is an example of a couple of multifunction switches. One, let's call it R1, which is router 1. The second one is router 2. In this case, we are using the routing function in a multifunction switch. And so the idea is to partition, for example, switch 1, create 3 partitions. Each partition is going to have its own routing table. So based on what I read on this user guide, the idea is to have, let me use a highlighter here, and let me use yellow. So if you take a look at this physical switch, this physical switch can actually be partitioned into multiple VRFs, multiple virtual routers. In this case, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 partitions, and each partition, each VRF is going to have its own routing table. That's why you see 5 different, simulating what is called a routing table, right? That has all the different routes, all the different interfaces that will take you to the next hop, for example. And one thing that by default the Dell operating system 10 will do is going to create the management VRF by default. It's not going to have any interface in it, and then it's going to create what is called the default VRF. And something that is recommended is that basically all the interfaces are going to be in the default VRF. Those interfaces can be physical, like all the ports, right? 111 all the way till 11148. Not only the physical interfaces, but also the logical ones, like for example VLANs, port channels, loopback interfaces, right? They are all placed in this default VRF right here. And so the idea is to move the management interface, which is going to be, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be management interface 111. So let's do management interface 111 and move it out from the default VRF into the management VRF. So that is something that is recommended. Besides the management and default VRF, then later on you can go ahead and create name VRFs, like the one I am highlighting here with orange. And so with this name VRF, let's say that you created this name VRF and you're gonna call it, I don't know, let's call it sales, for example. And let's say that you create another name VRF over here, and on this name VRF you're gonna call it engineering, for example. And then you're gonna create another VRF, and then you're gonna call it HR, for example. So all these instances are isolated from each other, and the idea is to have on each of these VRFs the routing function as well as the control and data plane isolated from each of the VRFs. So that is the idea of being able to have a physical switch and be able to create all these different partitions. So what I'm doing right now, I'm gonna go ahead and recreate what the Dell OS 10.5.3 user guide is showing us on this topology. I have my switch over here. It's gonna be router 1, in this case, is going to be this multifunction switch right here. So I'm going to go ahead and just label it the add node. So in this case, I'm going to do R1 just to keep it the same as the example. Please choose a server. So I have a server called Chekovic and GNS3 PM. So I'm going to choose that. Yeah. Okay, that's fine. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to go ahead and duplicate. So now I have my 3 machines, so I'm going to need 3 more. Fine. So now what it says here is to connect the first one to 112. So let's go ahead and cable this up. Ethernet 0 to 112. PC2 orange is going to go to 113. So this is 113. And the green one is going to go to 114. So let's go to 114. Let's go ahead and add more annotations here. So let's do blue. Let's do orange. And let's create a tag that says green. Okay. So let's go ahead and take this over here. Let's take this over here. Okay, I wonder if I can change the color here. Yeah, that's fine. I'm not gonna deal with that right now. Okay, so now let's do the same over here with these other PCs over here. Blue, orange, green. Okay, so delete that. Blue, green. Okay, so now let's go ahead and cable PC4. In this case, is going to be the blue one to 115. That's what it says there. So let's take this to 115. And then the other one to 116. Okay, so 116. And then the other one to 117. And then it says to go from 111 on this multifunction router, this multifunction switch, to 111 on the second one. Okay, let's see what else. So they want us to put IP addresses, so yeah, let's do that. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and create those IP addresses. So that's going to be, the first one is going to be 20.0.0.1/24. Okay, so that's good. Now let's do the second one. It's going to be 30.0.0.1//24. Then let's do the third one. This is going to be 40.0.0.1/24. And on the other side, it's going to be 21. Okay. So let's do annotation. 21.0.0.1/24. Let's annotate the next one as 31.0.0.1/24. And then the next one is going to be 41.0.0.1/24. So let's go ahead and put those IP addresses to the respective PCs. Yeah, okay, so that's going to be there. Yeah, that's going to be more like it. Okay, so it's looking good so far. I'm just trying to enter as much information as possible on this GNS3, so that way whenever I start configuring the interfaces, I have all the data in a single pane of glass if possible. Yep, the next video is going to be about configuring. This first video was to set the stage and also to prepare the lab for this VRF nugget.